Um, the judge apparently has said, the New York Board of Ed said, oh, we won't claim, guilt or anything like that. What do they call that in the civil case? They call it something else. But we
culpability or
yeah, some sort of responsibility.
Yeah.
But we will agree to a consent decree.
Mm-hmm.
And the consent decree means that people are agreeing to do something without admitting any
guilt,
any guilt or responsibility.
Right.
So the judge said, when the Board of Ed said that in court, the judge told us, okay, you come tomorrow and tell us what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, they realized they didn't know what they wanted.
Yes.
They just know they wanted something. To in terms of services.
Right.
So they came to the Centro, and they came to Frank, and Frank came to me and said, we got to help them out. And they hold us up in a hotel downtown on Lexington Avenue, 50-something street. And we spent all night trying to prepare for the next morning what they will ask the court. And it was a big struggle with the lawyers because Teitelbaum and Hiller were the lawyers for the ASPIRA, and they wanted to go strictly by what the Lau decision gave, which was basically a transition bilingual type of program. We were fighting for a maintenance model, and that they should try to get a court decision that would support a maintenance model. One, because we wanted our language policy, which statement was that the goal should be language maintenance, right? And we had the right to that, because particularly Puerto Ricans, because we're U.S. citizens. There's nothing in the Constitution that say we cannot maintain our language and still remain as U.S. citizens, because in fact that's what historically what has happened. Puerto Rico Spanish speaking, and they're still U.S. citizens. So anyway, that whole effort, and then the research in the community, and working with the people who have been involved in bilingual education and supporting the efforts around getting as much bilingual programs as possible, and as much support for maintenance, and not just and all these issues, Anyway, I got to know a lot of people, and they got to identify me and the Centro as partners in their struggles for language equity and educational equity.
Yeah. So when just to jump in here for a second, when did the task force come into formation?
The language policy?
Yeah.
Right from the beginning.
So that
it was in the original
70...
proposal. Original proposal of the Centro was the task force.
Okay, so that
was 72, I guess.
72, okay.
Yeah, I think it was 72.
And then the consent decree is...
Came a little bit later. It came
like
in
73?
73, I think it was. 73, 74.
Yeah, so you were holed up in about 1973?
Yeah,
okay.
73, 74. That was that time. And, but Mario Anglada was the executive director of ASPIRA at the time, and he ended up going along with the lawyers.
Gotcha.
Playing it safe, because their thing was, well, if we go by precedent, we're playing it safe, we have a better chance of getting what we want. If we try to push the envelope, there's a chance you could also lose, and not get anything, right?
Gotcha.
So they're being lawyers, wanting to win, of course, and they won the day. The argument, and Mario Vlado went along with the transitional bilingual program. And so transition bilingual became the model for the city. So it was just the kids, are taught in the native language to the point when they have enough capacity in English, and they move over, and then Spanish is dropped. But not even that did they ever really implement in the city. They never really fully implemented it to the extent that they needed to do it in terms of the numbers of students or the quality of the programs. And part of the consent decree was that when it came to monitoring and the implementation, there was, it was left to ASPIRA. ASPIRA had limited resources to do that. So we were already behind the 8 ball in that, how could we monitor the implementation, and that there's issues with the ASPIRA did try, and they did for a while. They were always bringing the Board of Ed back to court, to
Yeah.
say, you're not doing this, you're missing that. And then afterwards came the Jose P case, which was, you know what that was, right?
But you could
The Jose P case was
Yeah.
similar, but for special ed.
yeah, right.
And Juan Cartagena, I remember, I swear I met Juan Cartagena, was a lawyer for ASPIRA at the time, dealing with the Jose P case. Juan is now the executive director of ASPIRA, of what's now
Pearl
called
Deaf Latino Justice.
Yeah, it's Latino Justice
Yeah.
Institute now. And so that's how I
Yeah.
guess to answer your question, that's what.